Back with another free agent spotlight, Motor City Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. Appreciate everybody for checking in one time for the one time. Make sure that subscribe button, bell icon button, won't miss another video. But let's talk about the free agent we spotlighting today. Is Seattle Seahawks safety Earl Thomas, and is not expected to return to Seattle nor receive the franchise tag. And he is the end of the Legion of Boom era, with Richard Sherman moving on and Cam Chancellor dealing with neck injury, and Brandon Browner gone, and Walter Thurman III gone, and Lane gone. So pretty much it's the end of an era there in Seattle. They're transitioning pretty well. Pete Carroll is showing the ability to, draft the right talent over there with, the Griffins and with Trey Flowers, and KJ Wright is also on the block as well. We'll talk about him, God willing, somewhere down the line. But Earl Thomas, as we know, is a baller. Listed as a free safety, more of the cover safety. 5'10", 202 pounds, out of Orange, Texas. He's 29 years old, will be 30 by the time the season starts. He was a first-round pick, number 14. He's been 8 seasons in the NFL, I would believe. 6-time Pro Bowler, 3 times first-team All-Pro, 2 times second-team All-Pro. Super Bowl champion, has over 650 tackles, 70 pass deflections, 28 interceptions, 10 forced fumbles in 8 seasons, I believe, 5 forced fumbles, and 3 defensive touchdowns. So he a baller, man. You know what I'm saying? And we know last year in the Arizona game where he gave the Seattle Seahawks management and the kid coach and the bench the bird, because they didn't want to pay him last year, nor they want to try to move him to the Dallas Cowboys, that he was having a spectacular year. And I don't know why they don't want to reinvest into Earl Thomas. But at the end of the day, I guess they wanted to get the Legion of Boom out of there because of how they felt after, they did to try to do the rub route on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl, and they lost them a Super Bowl when they should have just handed it up to Marshawn Lynch, and that defense felt some type of way. And anytime you have, anytime you have a resistance, and they're going to get rid of you. And we know that in the work in America, anytime you speak up, especially when even when you're in a union shop, they'll swap you out. But especially a non-union shop, when you speak your mind, they're always plotting to get rid of you. They're going to move you. They're going to put you in jobs and positions where they want you to get fired. And that's what they did to Earl Thomas pretty much and the Legion of Boom. They felt some type of way. There was a resistance against Pete Carroll, even though they got Pete Carroll championship, most people believe. They didn't like Russell Wilson. They didn't like the idea that they threw the pick rub and then hand off to Marshawn Lynch. And piece by piece, how the establishment and how the man does it in the working class American, corporate America, however you want to label it, they got rid of him. So when those guys started to revolt after that Super Bowl, after that play, and they felt some type of way about Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll and the management of Seattle got rid of all of them. And then at the end of the day, they got the last laugh because Richard Sherman got injured, Cam Chancellor got injured, and now Earl Thomas got injured. So they just got a way that we don't need them. And when you spoke up and they was very, very vocal, and that's what happened. So, it ain't that Earl Thomas can't play at a high level. But what does hurt him is that he had coming off a broken leg. He wants to go down to Dallas. Dallas may not have the funds. They got to pay Amari Cooper. They got to pay Dakota Prescott. They got to figure out if they want to play DeMarcus Lawrence. They have pass rushing problems. And they traded their first-round pick last year. So that opens the door. I don't know if he feels some type of way with Darrell Bevell because he's the one that called that play and then run it with Marshawn Lynch. Because the conspiracy theory was that they didn't want to let Marshawn Lynch be the Super Bowl MVP and say, I'm going to Disneyland because of his, I guess, everything he got going on with, I'm just here so I won't get fined, and his attitude. So they felt some type of way about that. But like I said before, Earl Thomas was balling before he broke his leg last year. He was performing out there, intercepting the ball, forcing fumbles. I mean, he was, he performed against the Dallas Cowboys. He single-handedly won that game, had the amazing interception off the foot. Now, a lot of people wondering, like, when are you going to get to about the Lions? Well, I'm about to get to the Lions right now. And how he feel with the Lions is plain and simple. If Tracy Walker not ready, well, then you put in, Earl Thomas. Now, you do have some smaller safeties out there with Quadre Diggs and Earl Thomas. I believe Tracy Walker is of the longer variety than those guys. So, the Lions like to run 3 safeties, but it'll be an amazing get. But you're still going to have people that say, well, the Lions always getting old, washed up players. But what I seen, is that what I've seen is that this kid can play. This kid is still young, Earl Thomas. You know what I'm saying? He's still fairly young. He'll be a great mentor for Tracy Walker. They all three can play together. He'll bring some leadership to that locker room. We looking for leadership. We looking for identity. I think Snack Harrison can develop and continue to build a rapport with the team and be a leader going through camp. You put Earl Thomas, you got a leader on the front end of the defense. You got a leader on the back end. You got somebody that's very vocal, that can help get them youngers in line. And like I said before, safety is not the biggest need or one of the biggest needs the Lions have. You can go cornerback, go defensive end, pass rusher. Some people go tight end. Some people say receiver. Some people say right tackle, right guard. They have some needs, but at the end of the day, sometimes you got to just take talent over need. And you get leadership with Earl Thomas, an amazing person. I've never really heard nothing bad about him other than what I just said, and that's not bad. That's just being real. And in corporate America, they don't like being real. But this will be a good fit for Earl Thomas. Him and Quadre can interchange. Quadre can be in the box and make big hits. Quadre can drop in coverage as well. He can cover the nickel. So can Earl Thomas. He can cover the nickel. He can also probably cover on the outside if you need him a little bit in emergency. And he can play the deep half of the field. And Tracy Walker is known as a coverage corner as well. So you got 3 cover corners, cover safety that go out there and play corner and play the nickel at least. And then you will have Quadre Diggs, who's the missile, who's the enforcer, who can deliver the boom. So you have an enforcer, and then you have a leader in Earl Thomas, in the back end. So it sounds good. It sounds great. I think this is a guy the Lions can get coming off a broken leg. He could break the bank, but I don't think anybody's going to pay Earl Thomas top dollar. You know what I'm saying? Top dollar. So the Lions can just go a little bit above his market value and they could get Earl Thomas. But do I believe that he's a high priority? No, I think a high priority for Lions is trying to find a cornerback and trying to find a defensive end. They may be honing in on Trey Flowers, which I'm not a huge fan of Trey Flowers. I'm just tired of that New England BS, man. I think they need a real bona fide pass rusher on the edge. But that's just my personal opinion. They can address that in the draft. With the number 8 pick, they can move back, they can move up and address it. But at the end of the day, it depends what their free agent plans are. What's going to dictate what their draft plans are. And that's why I'm waiting to do the draft spot like I did last year. And the combine right around the corner. But Earl Thomas will be an amazing fit. Obviously, my fits is that I love either, Clowney. I like Clowney. I like DeMarcus Lawrence, but I love Fowler because of the value. I love Bradley Roby at corner because of the value. I love C.J. Mosley because he feels the needs in the middle. He can kick Davis to the outside. And, right at the, some of those are right in the middle. Also, I love Earl Thomas. You add Mosley, Bradley, and Thomas to the equation. You draft a pass rusher at 8. Your defense looks totally different. It does. You put Kennard down with his hand in dirt. You bring Ziggy back for a veteran's minimum or slower level contract and let him just be a situational defensive end. You bring in another defensive tackle with Robinson and to back up Harrison and back up Hand. I mean, you really changed your defense that much with Mosley, Roby that's not going to break the bank, and Earl Thomas that I don't believe going to completely break the bank neither because coming off the broken leg and being 30 by the time the season starts. I think you build yourself a defense where you got playmakers, and also you got Romeo Araqua, Eli Harold. I still think they're rushing the pass rusher, Kennard rushing. I think the way to go for the Lions is to spend the money on defense. You know what I'm saying? And then go where you need to go in the draft, maybe a defensive end, and just make a game manager offense. And I'll talk about Stafford later. And just run the ball a ton and have Stafford just be a game manager and let the defense win and let Kerryon Johnson, whoever you're going to get, Zach Zenner, whatever running back you bring in, win it for you with a couple play action passes. And that's how you win football games. That's the recipe. Great defense, good running game, quarterback make a few passes. But I like Earl Thomas a ton. I still think he got a ton left in the tank. Let me guys know what you think and where you rank him on the priority list in free agency. And I don't think he can break the bank, so I think it's a reality that they can get him at 30 years old by the time the new year starts. Smarter City Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow holding it down. I do plan to get to a Lions live stream today, so be on the lookout for that. Hit the subscribe button, bell icon button so you get that notification. Do me something better and just share the videos, man. Appreciate that. That's the biggest donation you can give me. Don't forget me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can reach out to the email if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or you just want to chop it up. In addition to that, check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV. It's Motor City Sports Talk.